Hey guys, this is Victoria back to you with another review of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Season 10, Episode 4 called Blast from the Past. Okay, so we start off where we left off last week with Infinity and Yandy. So, Infinity, remember, she walks off. Yandy talks in the confessional pretty much how she's hurt and whatnot, but at the end of the day, Infinity is her daughter, so she goes after Infinity to talk and she can't just let her walk off like that. Pretty much because Infinity, I guess she got a confessional in this episode. I think she had a confessional last episode too, but pretty much Infinity's point is she doesn't want to be abandoned. She's been abandoned all her life. Obviously, she doesn't have her mom. She was at her grandma's house, so that's the whole reason Yandy adopted her in the first place. So just the fact of her going back to her grandma's, she felt abandoned again. And I'm pretty sure it kind of all, not all stemmed from the picture from Christmas of last year, but I'm pretty sure that was like more salt to her wound. So, they have an emotional talk about the whole thing. And it seemed like they kind of made amends in a sort of sense. Um, but pretty much it seems like Mendices calls the shots. So Yandy's just like, okay, well, if you want to come back, you got to talk to Mendices. But you're her mom. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure, Yandy, if it was really, if you really wanted to, you could have been like, all right, Mendices, she's staying with us, whether you like it or not. But I guess Mendices calls the shots. I don't know if it's his name's on the lease or whatever of the house, but she said she tells Infinity, you got to talk to Mendices. And Infinity says, that's fine. That's cool. So Infinity agrees. So we're going to see when they talk later. Anywho, we move on to Rashida at press. So, Rashida's mom, Shirlene, comes in. She's always popping up, especially at the shops, to talk to Rashida to let her know that Booby, which is her older daughter, Cheryl, they're having a birthday dinner for her that night. So she's telling Rashida the same day that the dinner is. I'm not sure why she didn't tell her in advance, unless she just thought of it in her head that, like, oh hey, by the way, we're having a birthday dinner for her. But anywho, Rashida said she'll go. Obviously, she'll go because it's at her restaurant. Kirk Bistro or something Bistro, whatever. Their restaurant, her and Kirk's restaurant. And Rashida's just kind of like, she loves her sister. Her sister is like old, like way older than her. I don't know by how far along in years they're apart, but pretty much, long story short, her sister's a mooch. Okay, so she's the type of sister, since Rashida got a little bit of money, what I'm saying, from her, being an artist, and obviously more than likely on Love and Hip Hop for all these damn years. Her sister be like, hey, can I get a car? I need a car or whatever. So of course, Rashida being a sister, that's family. She gonna look out for her family, but she's one of those family members that kind of acts a little too much for stuff that they may want, but not necessarily need. So I mean, she agrees to go to the dinner, obviously, since it's at her restaurant, but she's just kind of like, here we go again with the BS. And I'm pretty sure there's always someone in the family, whether you're successful like that or not, if you just have a little bit of money, there's always gonna be somebody who gonna want a little bit, a piece of the pie, so to speak. So she tells her mom she's gonna go, and she talks to her mom about how the sisters, and the mom already knows, as we see later on in the episode, but the mom is pretty much like, it's your fault, because you enable her, which a lot of people, yeah. Because you could just be like, no, I'm not going to give it to you. And of course, they're going to make you feel bad. Be like, oh, I'm family. You can't help family out. But I can only help you out so much. I'm not going to go broke trying to help you out because you want to be a mooch. So, yeah. I mean, if you enable them, which Rashida is doing, listen, sometimes you just got to put your foot down and say no. Okay? Because people going to suck you dry until you got nothing left for you to give them something. Then they're going to go to the next person. So you just got to be like, no, bro. Like, you got this. You good right now. But anyways, we're going to move on. Erica goes to her doctor's appointment, and she states that she's finally starting to feel pregnant. Once again, we don't know when she supposedly says she found out not too long ago from when, like a couple episodes ago, but with a body that Erica had pre-pregnancy, you any other person, it's your body. You cannot tell me you didn't know. I just don't believe that. I personally don't believe that. So she said she's finally starting to feel pregnant. I'm pretty sure you was already starting to feel pregnant weeks ago. So I mean, so whatever. She's talking with a doctor, and she's telling the doctor pretty much, she told Safari and how his reaction was. And the doctor pretty much was like, it happens pretty much. Obviously, as the OBGYN, I'm pretty sure the doctor been seeing a lot of different stuff, a lot of different reactions, and probably way worse reactions from the mom and the dad. And pretty much she's just like, well, when I told you you were pregnant, you looked at me for 10 straight minutes like, but in my head, I'm just like, it wasn't, she probably exaggerating, but, I'm pretty sure Erica was kind of just like, what? Even though I'm pretty sure she kind of already had that intuition, like she's pregnant, but she didn't want to believe it, I guess. I don't know. But then she goes into the postpartum. I don't know who said that first. I think Erica did or something, but pretty much the doctor was like, yeah, that can happen to men too. You know, anybody could get postpartum, anybody could get depression because a baby changes a lot of things. So sometimes it's for the better, sometimes it's for the worse. And in Safari's situation, it was for the worse because he probably didn't realize how much work it was, which I'm still kind of confused. Like, does no one talk to you about what it takes to have a kid? Like, did you not prepare yourself? Or did you just think it was going to be like, you're just going to be on Instagram posting cute photos? Like, no, you got to take care of the kid too. Like, yeah, they could look cute in the photos, but there's a lot. It's a lot. So that's probably something y'all should have talked about before you even had kids, to be honest, because it seems like you just got together, got married, and then just had a baby. No, there's more to that. Like, do you guys talk after, post camera? But anywho, I guess they took the blood work. It seemed like the OB was trying to be like, okay, let me tell you the sex of the baby, when it's Erica's choice, because she's like, do you want to know the sex of the baby? Because we have the blood work, because we took the blood last week. Let her decide. Like, I felt like the doctor was too kind of urging Erica to find out the sex of the baby right away. But obviously we know it's a boy, but we don't find out here in the episode. We found out at the end when she tells Safari. But anywho, we're going to move on to young baby Tate doing rehearsal, because she's booked and busy, as she says, but she's sad about Fuckboy 4000. And I don't know why. Fuck him. Okay, his response that one night for the get together should have told you a lot. But she's sad because, I'm pretty sure that's not her first love, but some people, some females, I don't know. Sometimes when you're infatuated with someone, no matter if they're 4, 5,000, 25,000 miles away from where you live, and even though they treat you like crap in public, but treat you so nice and private, they still have feelings. I guess she still have feelings and, sad about what happened because she was really feeling old boy. So she's rehearsing. He calls her. Her manager seems kind of annoyed, like, really, you gonna answer this right now? You rehearsing and stuff. Yeah, she gonna answer right now. This is Love and Hip Hop. That's what people do, for the dramatic effects. So he, says he wants to talk about what happened the night prior. And from what I gather, he's trying to put the blame on her, saying, she's the one that was acting different and, just having him, feel some type of way. So that's why he acted the way he did. No. What we're not going to do is make, oh, I forgot her name. You made young baby Tate be the victim. Nah, nigga. You wanted to do what you acted that way because you wanted to act that way, not because she was acting different. No. And even if she was acting different, because obviously we just see the whatever the producer showed us, that don't mean you gotta be a dick about stuff. Like you can be like, pull her to the side, be like, okay, listen, we're gonna have to talk about this Jamaica trip. Not just, oh, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm going to Jamaica during the game. Like you knew you was acting like an asshole, so no, that is no excuse for you acting the way he did. Fuck boy, 4,000. So she hangs up on him because she pretty much knew it was BS too, and I guess she was acting real sad for what reason I don't know. Fuck him. Young baby, say you are too cute and too on your grind to be worried about a fuck boy 4,000 with a song named Chicken Adobo. Okay. Anywho, but I guess her spirits got lifted up right after because the manager was looking through her feed or whatever, and her video got 1 million views. So that lifted up her spirits, and she was able to finish her rehearsal, whatnot. So good for you, girl, for the 1 million views. I'm pretty sure you got way more now since we see you on Love and Hip Hop. But fuck boy 4,000. Moving on, we get to Rashida meeting up with Kirk and Carter at their second location. I don't know if it's their second location, but their new press location. They they're just opening so much businesses, like more locations for press, a restaurant. I think they got something else going on. Listen, if it's making you money, that's all that matters. But I'm just like you. I mean, I ain't no business person, so I can't say slow down. But I would make sure at least one thing is popping first before you go on to the next thing. Because especially with COVID, I don't know how everything went. But from what your accountant says, you guys are in the red. So I would feel like you might want to make sure this business and that business is booming before you start a whole nother location of business. But I don't know. To use your own. But to me, in my head, I think is like, dang, that's a lot of bills. That's a lot of bills, and I don't know if they got the funds for it. But kudos to them. Another press location. So anyway, she goes to Kirk and tells him about when she was at the first location of press. Her mom coming to her telling her about her sister's birthday dinner at Bistro, and Kirk was just like, "Oh, so I guess I'm gonna have to pay for that too." Yeah, you're gonna have to pay for it, Kirk. Yes, you and Rashida, okay, because Rashida the one kind of making you the money, but yes, y'all gonna have to pay for the birthday dinner, because it's gonna be at y'all restaurant. So you're gonna have to probably write that as a tax write off. I don't know, and she Rashida is still in the same mindset of yes, we're gonna go, obviously, but she just feels some type of way because her sister's a mooch. Like, your sister's a mooch. So Kirk is just like, what did Kirk say? He's like, he's not gonna say anything. He's gonna stay out of it because Rashida is a sucker for everything. I wouldn't necessarily say sucker for everything, but probably when it comes to family, she might be a sucker. Obviously, she said so many times her sister will ask for this and that, and Rashida will give it to her because she's an enabler. So pretty much, Kirk is piggyback. I can't say the term right, but pretty much Kirk is saying the same thing Charlene Perline said, and the fact that Rashida is your fault, you enabling. So Kirk is just like, okay, whatever, he gonna be there. And that's where that scene ends. So we're gonna get to Yandy and Infinity. They go meet up with Mendices to talk. She's like, first off, in the car, Infinity is like right next to Yandy. So when she pulls up and to see Mendices, she's like, I have a surprise, special guest or whatever. Obviously, you see her getting out the car. So you can't look right behind Yandy getting in the car and see Infinity in the passenger seat. So but Mendices kind of looking like, oh snap, like what's she doing here, type of thing. So anyway, they talk, and Mendices' whole thing is like, personal business, personal family business should be personal family business. Don't be leaking it on social media. Don't be threatening that you're gonna be writing a book. Like, no, this is personal family business. Keep it as such. What stays in the what happens in the family stays in the family, so to speak. But Infinity was just like, but can you understand how I felt? You know, just seeing you guys on social media for the holidays. Mendices apologizes, but he's just like, I just got out of jail. That's the first time spending holidays with my family since before he went to jail. And he said, you was invited, you chose not to come, so that's not on me. So I understand both parts. I can understand where it's like, nigga, like, it's Christmas, we gonna take pictures, you didn't come, that's not my fault. But then at the other same side, I guess she just, I don't know if she felt nervous or so to speak, but I mean, she was dating someone at the time that I guess was manipulating her or whatever. But she's just, I can understand looking at a picture and be like, dang, they seem like they don't even miss me. So I can understand that too. So they seem like they squash it and they make amends. Yandy wants Infinity to come to the house. Mendices kind of gives a look, but he said it's okay. And in the confessional, pretty much he's saying he's kind of weary of her because of the whole what happened with the social media and the threatening of books. So he says he's gonna give it a try, but he's kind of like him and Infinity kind of have the same issues. Like they have a hard time trusting people. So especially with that whole situation and scandal. So he's kind of like she can come, but I'm gonna keep an eye on her. That's the vibes I get from him. But they go. Yandy said, let's take a picture. Infinity's like, oh, let me check my makeup. Let me make sure I look cute. Yandy's trying to act like they're all good and whatever, but to me it just seemed kind of awkward because when they take the picture, they show you the picture of the three of them. It was like Mendices, Infinity, and then Yandy. And I seen the picture, the whole body language of all three of them together, it just seems so awkward to me. If anything, Yandy should have been in the middle because she's the one who, like, Infinity and Mendices are still like on the opposite ends of the room to me. So it's like Yandy should have been in the middle of the picture because it just looks so awkward to me. But anywho, we get back to young baby Tight doing a photo shoot. Man, this girl is doing her thing. She's working. She's, she wasn't lying about she got a lot of things to do in LA other than meeting up with Fuckboy 4000. So she's doing a photo shoot. And she's saying how she's doing all this and that. But she's still thinking about Fuckboy 4000. Now, I told you last week, I didn't want to see them in a scene together no more. But of course, we see them in this scene. And I hope that's the last scene we see of them both together for the rest of the season. If ever. She said she's still thinking about Fuckboy 4000. And, she's still feeling a little sad. So she calls him so they can meet up and talk. Rolling my eyes. So he shows up. I think she went to get ice cream. I don't know. I don't remember details of that, but she was somewhere, of course. So he meets up with her, and they're talking about what happened that night. He mentioned something about she was drinking a lot. She turned into a demon, acting all different than her normal usual self. And then what annoyed and pissed me off was she was in the confessional, even in front of him, she was just talking about like, yeah, my, like, pretty much her alcohol tolerance is not the same like a regular person, so I guess she's a lightweight. It's okay to say that I'm a lightweight too. Okay, young baby, say it's okay to say you lightweight. Okay, we lightweights it's fine. Okay, just call it for it. You're lightweight. Okay, welcome to the lightweight club. But she's like, she's a lightweight and she does act different, and she could pretty much go 0 to 1,000 real quick when she drinks. So she's agreeing with this guy and just telling, like, and when she was talking with him, she was like, yeah, she pretty much agrees with him. And she doesn't necessarily say sorry, like, I'm sorry. But the way the way she's reacting, the way she's explaining herself is kind of like, yeah, I'm sorry. I was acting kind of crazy. And in my personal opinion, I'm just like, but that doesn't give him reason to do what he did. So still fuck him, young baby Tate, because no. And she wants to move past it. move past that night and just move forward. Guap says he likes her. He goes down the list, this, that. He likes, hanging out with her. He likes talking with her. He likes fucking her. Oh, yeah, he said that. Yes. Yeah, he likes fucking her. And she just kind of like, like chuckle. But they should keep it at just that. Kind of like, let's just leave it where it's at. She's hurt. And, she kind of tries to keep a strong face, like, okay, whatever. But he's like, all right, well, cool. And he's just like, deuces. And he walks off. And then she kind of looks back and then walks off. And I'm just like, baby Tay, like, no. You please don't tell me you really pressed for this guy. No. This nigga just chucked up the deuces at you and was like, all right, cool, bye. Like, his reaction to me was kind of like, thanks for the puss, bye. And then you really looking back at him before you walk away. Girl, no. Like I said, this better be the last scene with him this whole season ever in life. Move on, young baby Tay. You too good looking for him anyway. Okay, you could find way better. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of niggas in Atlanta who would love to take you out, who would love to treat you way better than this. Fuck that boy 4,000. Okay? Fuck him. Okay? Young baby Tay, please don't let me see you with this guy in another scene for the rest of this season, for the rest of life. The next time I want to see you and him in a scene together is at the reunion, and that's it. Matter of fact, he shouldn't even be at the reunion. Fuck him. Anyway, moving on. We get to Mendeecees and Yandy's house. I guess it's nighttime. They having dinner or something like that. I don't know, but they all chilling and whatnot. And Yandy's saying there's going to be a special guest coming in the house. So, the kids acting crazy because that's what kids do. And there's an awkward ring at the door. Yandy goes to it. And Infinity walks in and pretty much she's like whispering like, oh, they don't know that you're here. They don't know that you're here. And she goes into the kitchen again because the kids are like, okay, who's the guest? And she reveals that it's Infinity. So all the kids are excited and happy and go hug her and stuff. So I thought that was a little cute scene. I mean, she was the one babysitting them and whatnot. So so everyone's excited. And of course, since they're girls, Infinity is mostly close with Skylar. So they're talking, Skylar's so cute. She's like the epitome of beautiful black chocolate. So they're talking. One of the kids asked Infinity, so how long you gonna be here? And Infinity was like, I don't know how long you want me to be here. And then I think the kid said, oh, maybe a year. So Infinity's just like, oh, you only want me here a year. So she was just like, I'm here as long, however long I can stay here or whatnot. So that's when I guess Mendeecees in the confessional saying, oh, he knew she was coming, but it was never discussed pretty much of how long she was going to be there and if she was going to be staying with him permanently. So I guess that's when they tell the kids, it's bedtime, go to bed, go to sleep. But I feel like, did you guys even eat yet? Because, I never see people eat on these shows, which kind of annoys me because they be having such good looking food on the table, on the plate, and they don't eat it. And that really bothers my spirit because it's like food is great. Food is almost life, I'm a foodie. I love food. So it hurts my heart when I see food, but it's not being eaten. But the kids go to bed. They leave the room. They don't go to bed. I'm sure they didn't go to bed, but they leave the room. And Yandy Mendeecees talk with Infinity, asking, how long does she plan on staying, or does she want to stay? And she says, yeah, she wants to stay, and she wants to stay as long as she's allowed to stay and able to stay. So I guess that's when Yandy and Mendeecees go to a side room to discuss and talk about it. And Mendeecees is just like, we're going to have to see how it goes with her, but, just not right now. So, because he's still iffy. Like, he allowed her to come to the house, but he just feels like there's still work that needs to be done. And, how does Yandy feel about it? Because I feel like she's still on the 50-50. I feel like she's going to go with whatever decision Mendeecees makes. And I'm just like, I get it. You married. And Mendices is like the man of the house, so you want to go with what he decides. But at the same time, this is your daughter. I don't even want to say adoptive daughter no more. This is your daughter, okay? Legally, this is your daughter. So what do you want? And that's what I really want to know. What do you want? Do you want her in the house? Because I don't feel like if you really wanted her in the house with you guys, you would just be like, okay, kind of like, all right, it's whatever you say. Like, as if she really wanted her in the house, I feel like Yandy would tell Mendices, hey, no, this is my daughter. This is our daughter because we're married. So this is your daughter too. No, she needs to, I want her in the house and we going to have her in the house. But pretty much like I said, whatever Mendices says, Yandy's gonna go along with it, and she might be feeling apprehensive too. But I think Yandy doesn't want to necessarily say that because she doesn't want to look bad into the public eye. But I don't know, man. It's that's an iffy situation. But I don't know, low key, Infinity does seem like the type of person who would try to make it seem like she's back on good graces just to get more tea to then fuck him over. So I don't know. We gonna see. We gonna see. Not trying to talk about Infinity, but I'm just saying, like, I don't put nothing past nobody. So just proceed with caution, I would say. So we'll see what that we're gonna see in the next couple episodes. But we get to Rashida's sister's birthday dinner, Cheryl's birthday dinner. Okay, her name is Cheryl Bowie. Okay, so we get to her birthday dinner. So it's Rashida, it's Kai, their son is Carter, and Charlene Perline. Of course, it's Cheryl. It's their aunt and their grandma. Um, they have, I guess, Kirk and Rashida would allow them to use like a intimate room in the restaurant, whatever, and they say happy birthday. They sit down to eat, and they start talking, and Cheryl mentions something about Rashida not coming to her 50th birthday party, and I think Shirley was like, "All right, let's not do this." I think it was Shirley or Cheryl was like, "Let's not do this. Let's not get into all that drama stuff." But then Rashida was like, "No, let's get into it because let's just put it on the table, get through this, so the next couple meetings or whatever don't have to be like this." So, um, Cheryl plays the victim. Charlene was in the confessionals just talking about like, Cheryl always does this, everybody be annoyed with her because she always be acting like, she's the victim. Pretty much she be acting like she's the victim and always asking for stuff. So like people get annoyed with her, they're done. And Rashida's just, in her confessional was just like her, Cheryl, and Charlene used to be thick as thieves, the three amigos. But as time went on, they kind of like pretty much Cheryl mainly just started doing her own thing. And since she's so much older than Rashida, they kind of drifted apart and they grew apart. And now things are different than what it used to be. Cheryl's thing is Rashida doesn't have time for her no more, and she's closer to her friends than she is to her. Then because she's telling her little feelings because Rashida and Kirk was like kind of rebuttaling. Rashida was like, "Well, I invite you to stuff with my friends, but you don't show up, so that's not my fault." And Cheryl does admit that, yeah, that's her fault. She doesn't go, but then she starts crying. So everybody's kind of like I just felt like Shirley was so annoyed with her own daughter. She's like, "Oh, here we go," and then Cheryl's like, "Well, I'm sorry, I'm sensitive," and she is sensitive, but she is sensitive, but I can understand because I too am sensitive. So sometimes if I'm feeling some type of way, I will bust out crying. So I understand, Cheryl. We here. I can understand you with that. But Shirley just seems so like here we go again with this bullshit type of thing. But Rashida seems to be okay with it. Kind like she seems to not be okay with her crying, but listening to what her sister is saying. And pretty much Cheryl just wants her and Rashida to get back close to how they used to be back in the day. And, Rashida agrees and they hug it out. And we're going to see what happens. Because I think I've watched Love and Hip Hop Atlanta since season 1. So it's been so many years, so many seasons. I don't remember if Cheryl's ever been on Love and Hip Hop. But we're gonna see if we see them again or see them getting closer. I don't know. So we gonna see with that one. Who knows? So anyway, we get to Safari, Erica, and little cute Sapphire. Safari's in the studio with Sapphire. Erica comes in, and she's talking to Safari and asks Safari to forgive her for her not liking the way that Safari reacted when he found out about the baby. So Safari's just like, oh, thank you, yes. You know, like she probably never admits that's probably her way of apologizing. So she probably don't really apologize like that. So he's just like happy that she's even acknowledging that like the way she reacted to his reaction was probably not the best way. And she talks about she went to before that. What I don't remember the sequence, but she's just like when they first had Sapphire, he kind of left her to do everything by herself. This nigga had the nerve to be like, well, I needed my sleep, and that he was going through postpartum. And I'm just like, nigga, we all need our sleep. Like, you're not the only. What? Okay, this girl just gave birth to your daughter. Like, she needs sleep too. You don't think she needs sleep after her body went through all that contraction stuff? Like, I don't know if she had a C-section or if she had it vaginally, but like, regardless of the fact she had a baby, physically had a baby. You had the easy part. You just had to squirt your semen in her. But she's the one who had to go through with the pregnancy, have the baby, and had to snatch back from having a baby. Like, you don't think she needs sleep too? I didn't like that response. That was a fuckboy response to me. Oh, I need to sleep. Nigga, everybody needs sleep when they have a baby. But when the baby cries, you gotta just get your ass up and take, like, Safari, come on now. No. But she talks to him about she went to the doctor and she said the baby's doing good and whatnot, and then she's like, she found out the sex of the baby, and he's just like, I want a boy. And she's like, oh, what if it's not a boy? You gonna be upset? And then he's just like, I mean, I'm not gonna be. His response is pretty much like, well, I'm just gonna be like, oh man, it's not a boy, but he's just gonna have to deal with it. But he just really wants a boy because he just has so much females in his life. His wife, his daughter. He got all sisters, his mom, and his sisters have daughters. So he has all nieces. So he wants a boy to carry the name and, to be a little mini-me. Listen, I don't understand why Erica even went too much into the, oh, what if it's not a boy type of thing, knowing you already know it's a boy. Like, just tell him it's a boy. I can't say 99% of men, but I know a good amount of men, when they about to be a dad, they want a boy. Just like a lot of females, when they pregnant, they want a girl. Granted, there's females who wants a boy and there's men who wants a girl. But majority of men want a boy, majority of girls want a girl. So to me, it's kind of like, it's not really that big of a deal that he was a boy. I feel like a lot of guys want a boy. And like he said, a lot of guys do want a boy for the fact of they want someone to carry the name. They want the name to continue in their family for another generation. Because when you have a girl, granted, she could keep her name and be that, carry the name for the generation. But for the most part, the girl's going to get married. She's going to change her name. And their legacy is going to be gone. So I just felt like, Erica, you could have, like, you just trying to use up some time to be on TV. But pretty much she tells him it's a boy, so he gets excited, but I guess that was short-lived because Sapphire was playing with a little guitar in the studio, and the guitar fell on top of her, because, she's little. She's, like, not even 2 years old yet, so I guess it fell on top of her. I thought it was a little cute thing. So Safari's laughing, and then Erica got upset. She's like, pick her up, Safari, stop being stupid. And she picks up Sapphire, goes put her in the room or something like that, and comes back to talk to him. And she's just like, that's messed up. You just laughing at her and stuff when you should have just picked her up. And Safari's just like, it's not no big of a deal. And excuse me. And then Erica was just talking about, I'm setting up myself for when I have the baby, because now I want to be the one taking care of 2 kids under 2. Well, Erica, I mean, you know your husband better than us, so I don't know what. I mean, we're gonna see next episode. I think that was his mom talking to him about, he needs to get his shit together. But that's your husband, Erica. I don't know what to tell you about that. That is your husband. Okay, you laid down and made 2 babies with him, at least 2 that we know of. So he was just like, she needs to know there's pain in life, and Erica just like doesn't agree with that kind of. Yes, so far I can agree with you. Like sometimes if a baby falls, you gotta let them get up by themselves, or else they're just gonna always expect you to come to the rescue. So I can understand that, but the way she was laying down, it seemed like she wasn't gonna get up at all. Like the freaking guitar is taller than her, so it looked like the guitar won. So guitar won, Sapphire 0. So in that case, I mean, you could have just picked her up, but I realize this is Sapphire we're talking about, so that's really nothing, you know. That's really nothing surprising to me. But that's where it ends. We're gonna see what happens next week. It seems like gonna be a little bit of drama with Amaretta the Great and somebody else. But you know how they always make TV shows seem, when they showing what's gonna happen next week, the next week it's gonna seem like it was just a joke. I don't know. We're gonna see. But anyway, that was it. See you guys next week, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday for Married at First Sight. But see you next week for another episode of a review for Love and Hip Hop. Bye, guys.